Take two, everybody. I don't know what happened. My Wi-Fi decided to fail me. Excuse that. Everybody, pretend that it didn't happen. Cut. Oh my god. Okay, alright. We're back in business, everyone. My mom called me, even though she's downstairs, so I don't really know what happened, but yeah. I'm gonna tell this story in a few minutes, I promise. I promise I'm gonna tell this story. I am not gonna repeat myself because honestly, I don't want to talk about it more than once. I will, however, talk about it in my travel vlog, so if you guys watch my travel vlog, I'll honestly probably go into more detail there. But I feel like I kind of owed you guys like an explanation as to why I'm obviously not leaving right now. So yeah, I'm gonna explain it to you guys in a few minutes, I promise. But yeah, it'll make more sense when I explain everything, but yeah. I'm at home now. Today was a very long day. It was a lot of stuff that's happened. I was not expecting any of this, obviously, so yeah. I'll explain everything in a minute, but for right now, we can just get cozy. So yeah, I'm doing great, y'all. I'm doing great. Don't worry. Just kidding. I literally hate everything. I'm gonna go take a nap after this. Today has been honestly one of probably like the most stressful days of my life, entire life. Like literally I woke up this morning at like 3 a.m, so that's sick. And I didn't sleep at all last night, so like I've just been like through the ringer. But yeah, like I said, you guys, I will explain everything in a few minutes. I'm gonna wait for more people to come on because I know that a lot of people are waiting to hear an explanation from me. And obviously everybody wants to know kind of what happened, especially because I've been hyping this up so much. I feel bad. Yes, everyone asking, I'm gonna save the live so people can watch it. And then also, I will be re-explaining the whole situation in my travel vlog because I kind of filmed a little bit of it, but not really. I don't know. I was very overwhelmed, very stressed out, you guys. Like, a lot happened in the past, since like 9 a.m. A lot has happened. So yeah, I'm gonna explain it all for you guys now just because I kind of feel like I owe you this explanation because obviously I'm not in Korea. I'm not leaving right now. So I will tell you guys everything that went down from start to finish. And then obviously if you guys watch my travel vlog, you guys will see everything as well. So yeah, it's just, guys, it was just a lot. I feel like it was a lot happened at once. And like I said, it was a very overwhelming day. Like a very big emotional roller coaster. Like I have cried, I have yelled, I have gone through it. So I know. My pack with me went up today. And yeah, I'm so appreciative. You guys are really enjoying that video. So thank you guys so much for all the love on my pack with me video. But yeah, like I said, I will start talking in a little bit. But yeah, I just kind of need to, oh my god, there's 500 people in here. Hello, everyone. I also am looking a little rusty dusty, so please excuse that. I honestly could not be bothered to look presentable. Obviously, I was supposed to be getting on a flight today. I was supposed to be literally flying over Canada right now, so that's sick. But yeah, I will explain everything maybe in a few minutes. Just give it a few minutes because I don't want anyone to come in and be like, oh, what is she talking about or whatever, because that'll annoy me. And I really don't want to repeat myself. Like, it's been a really hard, long day. So yeah, I will, if you guys are rewatching this, it keeps pausing. Is it bad? Hold on, everybody stay there. Everybody, hold on. Stay there. Hello? It's not bad for me right now. I'm gonna get the handy dandy old laptop out. Let's see. Skirt, work it. I wanna see you dance. Also, I'm gonna explain kind of how the next couple days are gonna work because everything's gonna be a little bit of a mess. So y'all just gonna have to get over it. It's glitchy for me. But look, It's good quality for me. Anyways, okay. I feel like, all right, I guess we can just start this off. It's been 5 minutes. Okay, so basically how the day started. I did not sleep a wink last night. I was really stressed out and overwhelmed, and I did film the whole morning, so like I will show you guys. I'm still going to show you guys all that footage. So I feel like that was like the day. That was the start of the day, and like I just kind of feeling something would be wrong. I don't know. I woke up and like I was just like, you know what, like something's gonna go wrong. I was so stressed out and overwhelmed. And usually like when I travel, like I'm not that overwhelmed. Like I don't know. I felt like this morning, like I just felt like something was gonna go wrong. And so I woke up about 4 a.m. I watched Treasure's video. I was having a nice time. My mom and I watched WandaVision because we've been binging that show together. And so we watched that, and we were honestly just having a good time. I was sad. Like, I feel like last time I went to Korea, you guys, I wasn't sad. I don't know if this makes sense, but like I was really sad like this morning. I don't know why. But anyways, I got in my car at 8 a.m., fresh and early at 8 a.m., and we went to my grandmother's house. We had breakfast. Like, it was a good time, you guys. Like, I don't know. I was having a nice time. And then we went to my brother's house, and I said goodbye to my brother. Oh my God, we got Starbucks on the way. Like, it was overall, hold on. It was overall, like, not a bad time. I will tell you guys, like, I was having a good morning, a good time. So it gets to the time, it is about 10 a.m., and my flight is at 12:30. So I have a lot, oh my God, there's 600 people here. Hello, everybody. There's a lot of time to get to my flight, okay? 10 a.m. and my flight's at 12:30. So what happens when you get to the airport is there's a lot of obviously Rona protocols. So my mom dropped me off. She didn't come in with me because she had to go to work. So she dropped me off, and I get to the desk, and the person right before I get in line for the desk, the person takes my temperature. I don't have a temperature. I'm like sick. I get to the kiosk, and the lady is like, oh, like, let me see your passport. Let me see your Rona test. And I was like, okay, sick. So I give her my Rona test. I got my Rona test yesterday at my pediatrician's office, and everything was supposed to be good. Everything was supposed to be clear. And immediately, she looked at my test and then started speaking to her coworker. And I was like, there's no way they're letting me on this flight. Like, I knew immediately that nothing was gonna go well. So basically, if you guys are not familiar with traveling to Korea right now, there are many different kinds of Rona tests. I call it Rona because if you say the actual word, sometimes like YouTube flags the video, so I'm just gonna call it Rona. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? Rona. Miss Rona. So there are many types of Rona tests, and the one specifically that I got was a rapid test. And a rapid test is a molecule test. And there's also one called a PCR test. A PCR test is the one where they stick it all the way to the back of your brain, and it takes longer to process. So I personally got a rapid test from my pediatrician because that's what they recommended me to get. And it took 15 minutes to cure, so it was fine. And so immediately, like 10 seconds in, she's like, let me go ask my supervisor. And I was like, okay. So now I'm waiting at the desk, literally waiting at the desk for, I think it was like 20 minutes. And she's talking to her supervisor in the other corner of the room. They had to call Korea to verify that I needed a PCR test, that I couldn't go with just a rapid test. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way. I was literally like, there is no way, absolutely no way that this is gonna happen to me. Like, I didn't know. No, it's not because I got tested yesterday. That's not the problem. You need to have the test within 72 hours. So I could have gotten the test yesterday. It was totally fine. That's not the issue. It was just the specific test I got was incorrect. So she comes back to me after like 25 minutes of talking to her supervisor, and she goes, I'm sorry, but this is not the kind of test that we accept. However, there is a testing facility downstairs, and so they will give you the results within an hour, and you can still get on your flight. And I was like, okay, like that's not that bad. Like, I wasn't too worried about it. I was like, all right. So I was like, okay, that's sick. I can go downstairs, get my test. It would have they said that the facility would have costed, I think, $250, but I was like, whatever, however much you want me to pay for, that's fine. So I was like, sure. And so the lady escorts me downstairs to the testing facility, because there's a testing facility in the airport. And so then I proceed to wait in the line for the testing facility, and I'm starting to get really nervous because now it's about 10:40, and the desk for the check-in closes at 11:40. So I knew that I didn't really have a lot of time. Like, literally, I didn't have a lot of time to wait for it. So I'm waiting in line, and now, like, I literally, I have been waiting now for probably like 20, 25 minutes in this line. I get to the front of the line, and when I was in line, they were like, hey, can you fill out this little form for us? Just tell us where you're from, blah, 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 like, give us your address, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, sure, whatever. They have to, like, take your age and stuff to get the test. And so I get to the front of the line, and I'm like, sick. I'm at the front of the line. And so I get to the front of the line, and then the lady looks at me, and she goes, okay, you need a PCR test. And I'm like, yeah, I'm getting on my flight in an hour. Do you think, can you get me the results? And she goes, so the PCR test at our facility takes 48 hours. And I was like, 48 hours? Pardon? 48 hours? And the lady at the desk told me it would take 1 hour to get my PCR test. But now it takes 48 hours at this facility to get a PCR test. And it's $250 on top of that. So I was just looking at her like, but the lady at the front desk told me it takes an hour. Like, what do you mean? I'm supposed to get on my flight right now. If I don't get on my flight right now, I will be late to school. I'm trying to study abroad. Like, at this point, I was freaking out. I was literally going to literally vomit. And she was just like, look, I'm sorry. You can call around the area and see if you can get a 24-hour one. But the shortest amount of wait time for a PCR is 24 hours. And I was just like, you know, if somebody had, like, gone out, like, just outright told me that I needed this, like, even when I looked up, I feel like when I looked up on the, like, the regulations, they just said you needed a test. I don't know. But anyways, so at this point, I'm like, all right, let me go back to the airline. Let me reschedule my flight for tomorrow and just see what happens. So I'm dragging my bags around this airport, y'all. I'm dragging my bags. So I go all the way upstairs, because if you guys know, they're on different levels, and the Boston airport's pretty big, so the escalator's huge, and I'm struggling. And at this point, I can't lie to you guys, at this point, I'm sobbing. Like, I am literally sobbing my eyes out in the airport by myself because I just didn't understand what was going wrong. I was so stressed out. Everything was heavy. I was so grumpy and miserable. And I'm just literally crying and walking through the airport. I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I need you to turn around, and you can't go to work. You have to come back and save me. So, and also, my dad was flying into where I live because my dad doesn't live anywhere near me. So my dad was coming, he was in a different terminal. Fortunately, he had a flight the same day. So my dad was coming to see me because he was like, what's going on? Like, nobody understood what was happening. So I get back to the place where the ticketing was. And I get to the ticketing booth, and they're like, you cannot schedule your flight without having your PCR test. And at that point, like, I was already crying. The guy felt so bad for me, but, like, literally, he broke me. He was like, like, I feel like everything in me just broke at that point. He was like, you cannot reschedule your flight. I'm sorry, you need to go get your PCR test. You cannot reschedule your flight until you get your test done. And I was just like, there's no way. Like, there's absolutely no way this is happening to me. I honestly was in disbelief, you guys, because at that point, like, I feel like everything had just told me that, like, I shouldn't be going. Like, literally, I was just like, at this point, I shouldn't even be going to Korea. So at that point, I was walking to the airport. I was walking through the airport, and I finally met my dad, and my dad was like, it's okay, like, it's gonna be okay, you know, like, you will figure it out. And, like, I was honestly just sobbing my eyes out. I was like, this is insane, like, I don't deserve this. I just wanted to get on my flight and go get my chicken. And so my dad was just like, it's okay, it's okay. So my mom comes eventually and picks me up, and while I'm in the car, I schedule two separate tests for two different places in where I live to get my PCR test, because I didn't want to risk it and just get one facility. So I went to two separate tests, you guys. 2 separate tests, and each of them costed over $150. Like, it was very expensive. So my mom and I drive from the airport to the first test. I honestly was just like, I was so upset. It was so expensive, but I was so upset. And so I get to the place, and I get to the place, and I'm telling the ladies at the front desk, I'm like, this is horrible. I'm like, I'm so upset. And the ladies are like, I feel so bad for you. I'm like, I know. So I get my first test done at noon. And then that one hurt. Let me tell y'all, that one hit different. That was right up the nose. It really, really hurt. And then I actually got Taco Bell because my mom was like, I feel so bad for you. Here's some Taco Bell. And I was like, thank you. Baja Blast Freeze really hits different. Let me tell y'all, ladies and gentlemen and everyone else, hits different. And then as I'm driving from one test to the other test, I call the airline. Now this, you guys, this was the real kicker for me. Like, if anything else didn't hurt me, if anything else didn't, like, literally make me want to, like, literally never go back to Korea, it was this. So I called the airline and I was like, hey, you guys told me that once I get my PCR test, I can call and reschedule my flight. And the airline was like, okay, yeah, sure. They looked up my confirmation number, but because I booked the flight through, like you guys know, like Kayak, something like, it was a kind of site like that. So because I booked it through a site like that, I had to call that site. And I was like, okay, sure, I will call that site. But the airline canceled my flight. So keep this in mind. The airline canceled my flight. And they told me, if you don't cancel it, you're going to have to pay a no-show fee. No-show fee, that's what it's called. So, oh my god, we have 1,000 people in here. Hello, everybody. Do you want to hear my misfortunes? Here it is. So, because of that, they were like, call the other people. And I was like, okay. So, we're still in the car driving from one facility to the other to get my second PCR test, which costs a lot of money. And so, I call the special site, okay? I call the special site. And this lady doesn't really know what's going on. She keeps putting me on hold every 5 seconds. So by the time we get to the second facility, we get there a little bit early. Like, my second appointment was at 1 o'clock. And we got there, I think, at like 12:30. So we just sat in the car and waited because there wasn't any walk-ins because it was during like the lunch break. So we're sitting in the car and I'm still on hold. And at this point, I've been on hold for 30 minutes. And the lady goes, hey, by the way, we need you to call the airline because we can't do anything about it. And I was like, I'm sorry, miss. I've been going through it. I already called the airline and they told me to call you. So if you don't fix this, I will scream. And she was like, oh, well, I have to check with my supervisor to make sure that that was correct. And I was like, literally, I don't give a crap about your supervisor. I literally already called the airline and I'm calling you to fix my flight. Now, I wasn't being unreasonable, you guys. I booked a round trip to Korea. So I booked a round trip. So I booked a March trip and a June trip. And all I wanted was to change the March flight to 2 days later, because if I change it to Sunday, that will be within the period of me getting my results. It also gives me a little bit more leeway because if I had booked my flight for tomorrow, if I didn't get my test results, I couldn't get on the flight, if that makes sense. So this lady leaves me on hold again, and I'm sitting here like, yep, So at this point, it was 1 o'clock and I had to go get my my Rona test. So I go into the facility for my Rona test and I am still on hold. And so the lady's kind of just looking at me like, the lady like giving me the test is kind of like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I am on hold with the airline. I have been trying to leave the country all morning. Please give me a break. And I swear this lady must have thought I was insane because I was fuming. Like, when I say I usually don't get mad at people like this. I am very patient when it comes to people like working in this kind of service because I feel bad for them, you know what I mean? Like, they have to deal with crappy people all the time, but I am fuming. So I'm still on hold. I'm getting stuff shoved up my nose for my tests and I'm still on hold. And like, it wasn't like I was asking for anything too like spectacular. Like, I wasn't asking for anything too outrageous, you know what I mean? Like, I literally just wanted them to change my flight. You guys, I was on hold with these people on and off for 2 hours. I can literally show you guys, I was on the phone with them for 2 hours to change my flight. It was horrible. Like, it was literally horrible. I am not kidding. I almost lost my mind. It was so bad. There was so much miscommunication. The person kept trying to cancel my flight and refund me when all I wanted them was to change my flight. And in the end, I had to pay $200 to get my flight on Sunday. So, today was a very costly day. I have literally almost lost my mind. So I am leaving on Sunday. My new flight is March 7th. I am leaving on Sunday. So yeah, I am still going to Korea. I didn't have to cancel anything. There are some misfortunes for this, unfortunately. One of them is that I will be missing Hyunjin's birthday in Korea, which is probably the worst thing to come out of today, is that I'm gonna be still in quarantine for Hyunjin's birthday, and that literally makes me want to punch a wall. Like, I literally considered it. Like, I'm not even kidding, I considered it. And also, I'm gonna be late to school, so I have to do 2 to 3 days of online school for my university before I can transition to going into school. So it is actually horrible. I get to miss both my old bias's birthdays while I'm in quarantine. I get to sit in Korea for both my old bias's birthdays, but not get to go to cup sleeve events. I wasted about like $600 today, so that's really sick. And all of this could have been avoided had somebody just told me to get my damn PCR test. So anybody who wants to travel to Korea, please get a PCR test. That's my public service announcement for today. It was horrible. It was such a long day. I am literally so frustrated. Obviously, I wasn't going to cancel my trip altogether. Like, I've already paid my university fees. Like, I'm obviously still going to go to school, but it was a lot. Like, it was honestly such a hard day, such a long day. And honestly, it was one of the worst experiences I've ever had, ever. So that's sick. So yeah, I'm missing Yoongi's birthday and I'm missing Hyunjin's birthday. I get to miss 2 days of school, and that was my experience today at the airport. So yeah, I'm still going to Korea. Don't worry, everybody. I know a lot of people were worried that I was canceling my trip altogether. I'm going on Sunday. I want to let you guys know also that I will not be posting any videos for the next couple of days. I won't post again until I'm in Korea because honestly, I just need a little bit of a break. Obviously, I'm still leaving on Sunday, like, it's only 1 day, so yeah. I'm gonna be taking, a few days off from YouTube. Do not worry about it. So, yeah, that was my story time. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. It was so enjoyable for me. I had such a great day. I literally, like, I'm not even kidding, it's 3:25. I got off the phone with the person at, like, 2:50. I'm losing my mind. But yeah, in my travel vlog, you guys will see